came out that her people pay for play. And very big stories today. The problem is it'll be big stories for about 2 minutes, and then they're going to drop it because the media is so totally dishonest. So totally. But this was big stuff. Pay for play. It's illegal. I mean, it's illegal. And we'll see what happens with it, folks. We'll see what happens with it. But it's very serious stuff. It's very, very serious.
That was 2016 GOP presidential nominee Donald Trump earlier today talking about Hillary Clinton's shocking pay-to-play scheme between the State Department and, of course, the Clinton Foundation. Now, it was revealed yesterday in newly released emails. And now here with Reaction 2016, Republican vice presidential nominee. He is the governor of the great state of Indiana, Governor Mike Pence. Sir, how are you?
I'm good, Sean. Thanks for having me on. Let's
start with the pay-to-play and the new revelations. I mean, it's obvious these emails, by the way, weren't they supposed to be handed over a long time ago? She deleted 33,000 others. Nobody has any idea what's in them. But this specifically, those people that donated and were part of this organization got access, special access that nobody else would get. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think what we see here is direct evidence that major foreign donors were being given favors and opportunities by officials at the State Department. It is, as you just heard Donald Trump say, it is a textbook example of the kind of pay-to-play politics that the American people are tired of in Washington, D.C. And I promise you, when Donald Trump and I head to the White House this January, we're going to put this pay-to-play special interest politics to an end once and for all.
Let's talk about the coverage of Donald Trump's comments about Second Amendment supporters and the media reaction to this.
Well, it's just incredibly frustrating, but it's also telling to see the way the media has the capacity to major in the minors, to take a comment as they did, and take it all the way to the cable airwaves and make a controversy when, in the very same week, the father of the terrorist who took 49 lives in Orlando attended a Hillary Clinton rally, was on television for more than an hour, said later to the press that he was there because he thought Hillary Clinton was, quote, good on national security, and that got a fraction of the attention that was paid to statements that Donald Trump made in support of the Second Amendment and in support of people that advocate for it. So it just shows you what we're up against. But as I said here in Dayton today, you know, it's 2-on-1. The media is going to continue to do half of Hillary's work for her. But the amazing thing is, from the crowds that we've seen as I campaign around, the enormous crowds around Donald Trump, the American people are rallying to his message.
But, you know,
they're rallying to his candor,
on this.
and I believe we're going to rally all the way to victory this fall.
Media research points out that CBS, NBC, ABC, they covered this issue of Donald Trump's comments 5 times more than the father of a terrorist who supports the Taliban is against gays and lesbians, and 5 times more coverage, and she wouldn't even denounce him when asked to, and it took, what, 36 hours for her to finally get there. And just like she takes money from Saudi Arabia, the Clinton Foundation does, they abuse women, they kill gays and lesbians, they persecute Christians and Jews. And they took up to $25 million for the Clinton Foundation, $10 million for the Clinton Library. Most Americans don't hear about that part. So what does that say about the media? What does it say about her?
Well, it just says the media is overwhelmingly biased in favor of electing Hillary Clinton as the next president of the United States. But I have to tell you, the connection that Donald Trump has made to people all across this country from every background is amazing to behold at these rallies. I think people are seeing through the media bias. They're ignoring it because they really do hear in Donald Trump the kind of message that will rebuild our military, have America standing strong in the world, release the full potential of the American economy, and maybe most important of all, make sure that the next president making appointments to the Supreme Court of the United States will appoint conservative justices who will uphold our Second Amendment and all of the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution.
You know, I think all of that's important. I've been making a big deal. I just made an opening statement tonight about those Republicans, especially those that ran for president, like John Kasich and Jeb Bush and Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz, for example. They made a promise. They made a pledge. They'd support the eventual nominee. Do you believe that those Republicans, you can add to it Susan Collins, et cetera, Do you think they're sabotaging or trying or attempting to sabotaging your campaign, Donald Trump's campaign? Why would they do that? And aren't they helping Hillary?
Well, look, it was a tough primary, and I understand competitive politics can impact relationships. We're just going to continue to work hard, and we are going to continue to see this party coming together. You know, I was in Dayton earlier today and, you know, met with a number of prominent members of Congress who were there. Congressman Mike Turner, former mayor of Dayton and a prominent member of the Armed Services Committee. You know, we're getting support from members of Congress literally all over this country. Those that are expressing their support aren't getting nearly as much attention to the folks who from time to time say that they're not there or not there yet. But that just is what it is. But I tell people, whether it be my friend Governor John Kasich here in Ohio or others, we're just going to continue to put out a message of real change in Washington, D.C., and we're going to work hard to earn the support of not just all those leaders, but we're going to continue to earn the ever-widening support of everyday Americans who know we can make America great again.
You know, it's interesting on the double standard side because, you know, Hillary Clinton in 2008 said, you know, well, Robert Kennedy was killed in June and made a comment, and it was perceived by others to be a little bit of a veiled threat against Barack Obama. You know, you have people like somebody like, the president, Obama in this case, talking about punishing our enemies. I don't know whose ass to kick. He actually said that. We'll send Mr. Burgess over to Fox News to tear Sean Hannity up. He actually said that, President Obama, when he was running. And, you know, if they bring a knife, we'll bring a gun. John Kerry talking about on Bill Maher the possibility of actually, you know, killing President Bush at the time, or the threats to Dan Quayle, your fellow Hoosier, that, Secret Service has orders that, you know, if anything happens to the president, shoot to kill. If you remember those comments. And then all of this is about Donald Trump. That standard, you said it's 2-on-1. You think it's that bad? You think they're that in the tank, the media, for Hillary?
I think it's amazing. If you look at what Brent Bozell and the Media Research Center came out with just this week. I mean, Hillary Clinton has the father of a terrorist who just took the lives of 49 members of the LGBT community in Orlando in a horrific terrorist attack at her rally on television, there to support her. And it takes her literally, almost an entire day to denounce him. And that gets scant media coverage compared to Donald Trump simply calling on Second Amendment supporters across the country to exercise their right as voters and exercise their rights as citizens in the democratic process to stand up for the Second Amendment. But yeah. Look, my late father used to say, it is what it is. But the amazing thing is, even 2-on-1, I got to tell you, we're winning hearts and minds every day.
Do you feel good about the polls right now? They seem to be coming back. In the last 2 days, you had 2 polls that have come out that seem that it's now tightening again.
Well, of course it is. But what I feel most excited about, like in Dayton earlier today, is just the enthusiasm, the passion people have. The Democrats are telling us this is the best we can do in America, at home and abroad. And they know it's just the best they can do, that we can do better, but it's going to take new leadership, a change of direction, and the enthusiasm out on the rope line, the enthusiasm as Donald Trump and I are traveling the country is amazing.
Do you think that knowing that there's a double standard, and I agree with your premise as it relates to the coverage of Hillary versus Donald Trump, do you think knowing that maybe he needs to have more discipline in the sense that don't give them an opening? Be more careful. Maybe use the teleprompter more.
I think Donald Trump gave a great speech this week in Detroit. And I had the opportunity to introduce him there. He laid out an economic plan. Next week, there's going to be another major policy address coming. You're going to see this campaign laying out a specific policy agenda in the weeks ahead, building on what we've done already. And that's going to continue to happen. But make no mistake about it, the contrast between a man who speaks his heart and his mind with candor versus Hillary Clinton, the hedging and the obfuscations and the untruths. I think the American people welcome Donald Trump's candor. That's a part of who he is. And I look forward to campaigning with him every day and running through the tape to a great victory this fall.
All right, Governor, good to see you. Thank you. We'll see you out on the campaign trail. Appreciate it. And coming up, back in 1975, Hillary Clinton, she defended a man accused of raping a 12-year-old girl. The DailyMail.com has reportedly tracked the woman down, the victim down, who is now speaking out and slamming Hillary. We'll check in with Sheriff David Clark, Rick Grinnell, and Kellyanne Conway. They'll respond. And then later, questions are